If I asked you which men struggle the most with porn, the men with no ambition or the men wasting their lives. But after coaching hundreds of men over the past few years, I found something completely different. Very often, the men who struggle the most are actually the most ambitious. They are building businesses, working long hours, studying relentlessly, trying to improve themselves, trying to become the man they want to be. And that's exactly what makes this struggle so confusing. Because from the outside, everything looks disciplined, yet behind the closed doors, they're fighting a battle they can't seem to win. So why does this happen? Why would a highly driven man, someone who can wake up early, stay consistent, build a career, and push through discomfort, still find himself trapped in a cycle of lust? The answer has less to do with discipline than most people think, and more to do with isolation. Let me explain. Imagine a young man with a clear vision for his future. He wants to build a successful career, he wants financial freedom, he wants to get married, he wants to build a family. He knows exactly where he wants to go. The problem is, building that life takes years. And while he's working toward that future, he enters into what I call the waiting season. And I honestly believe this is where most ambitious men either build themselves or quietly destroy themselves. It's the phase where you can see the destination clearly, but you haven't arrived there yet. You can see the future, but you're still living in the present. And that gap creates pressure, a lot of pressure. Here's where it gets interesting. As this man becomes more ambitious, he often starts feeling disconnected from the people around him, not because he's better than them, not because they are bad people, but because his conversations become different, his goals become different. While others are relaxing, he's thinking about the next move. Slowly, he begins to feel like he doesn't fully fit in anymore. And before long, he starts spending more time alone. And this is where most men become vulnerable, because isolation doesn't just mean being physically alone. Isolation means carrying the pressure with no outlet. It means having thoughts that nobody sees. It means fighting private battles with no accountability. And when a man comes home after a long day of work, stressed, mentally exhausted, emotionally drained, with nobody around to help him process what's going on internally, his brain naturally starts searching for a relief. This is the part most men misunderstand. Adult content is really just about the desire. In fact, if I could magically remove porn from your life today, but leave the loneliness, the pressure, the isolation, I honestly think many men would replace porn with something else. So very often, it's about escape from stress, escape from loneliness, escape from pressure, escape from uncertainty. The problem is what porn is replacing. For a few moments, it allows a man to forget what he's carrying, but it's just a distraction. You're just focusing on your mental fantasy and not your stressful thoughts. You're just hiding behind the screen. Porn appears to provide what you want, but it never actually does. It's just a video on a screen. Think about it. Deep down, many ambitious men want to feel respected, powerful, desired, valued, connected. They want to feel like their efforts matter. The challenge is that earning those things in real life takes time. But adult content offers a fake version of these feelings instantly. And it offers all of it without any risk, no effort, no waiting. That's why so many ambitious men get trapped into this. Not because they are weak, but because they haven't yet learned how to process these emotions without escaping. And this is where almost everyone makes the same mistake, using discipline to quit. I remember when I was building my own future, everyone around me was enjoying their life, going out on every weekend, having fun. Meanwhile, I was working alone. I used to believe that if I just became more disciplined, everything would change. But I was completely wrong, because discipline absolutely matters, but not in the way most people think. Discipline can help you build your body, your business. It can help you make money. Discipline can force a behavior for a period of time, but it doesn't automatically get rid of the desire. Which is why many highly successful men end up feeling confused, because they can build businesses, they can pass difficult exams, they can stay consistent in the gym, yet they can't seem to win this one private battle. Not because they are broken, but because they are playing the wrong game. The real battle isn't the behavior, it's the emotional reasons underneath the desire. Once a man understands that, everything begins to change. Because now he stops asking, how do I force myself to quit? And starts asking, why do I still want this in the first place? That's a completely different question. Most ambitious men spend years trying to discipline themselves out of the habit. But discipline is not what creates the freedom. What does is clarity. If someone offered you your favorite video game today that you left long time ago, but you have a very important task to do, you wouldn't need discipline to reject it, right? Not because you're strong, but because you have outgrown it. You no longer see the same value in it. The same principle applies here. As long as the adult content still looks valuable to your mind, you will constantly feel like you're sacrificing something when you walk away from it. But once you see it for what it actually is, basically an empty promise, a temporary distraction, a fake version of what you truly want, the game begins to change. I know you might be thinking, okay, Amrit, I understood why we struggle with this, but what we can do to solve it. So let's dive deeper into how you can actually bridge the gap between ambition and the slow reality of building your dream life. It all begins with protecting what I call your clean energy. Every single day, you wake up with a certain amount of mental energy, attention, presence, drive, and focus. That's the energy your future needs. It's the energy that builds businesses, strengthens your faith, leads your family, creates opportunities, solves difficult problems. But every time you escape into fantasy, instead of facing life, you start leaking a little of that energy away. So you become just a little less alive. You might not notice it in one day, but after months or even years, you can clearly notice the man who protects his energy shows up differently. He follows through more consistently. He carries himself with confidence, not because he's more talented, because he's no longer fighting himself every single day. And that's another lesson ambitious men, you need to understand. Talent isn't what builds an extraordinary life. Stability does. Your future wife doesn't need the most talented version of you. She needs the most dependable version of you. Your future children don't need the smartest version of you. They need the most present version of you. Your business doesn't need a man who occasionally performs at his best. It needs a man who can consistently show up with a clear mind. Protecting your clean energy isn't just about quitting porn. It's about becoming someone your future self can rely on. And there's another mistake ambitious men make during this waiting season is they tie all of their motivation to distant rewards. They tell themselves, I'll be happy when I become successful. But these milestones may be years away. And that's when the quick escape becomes attractive. Instead, I want you to focus on the benefits that are available right now and write them down on a notebook. The moment you stop escaping into fantasy, you gain something immediately. More time, more mental energy, more focus, more drive and hunger. Protecting your clean energy also requires something that most modern men try to avoid: friction. Think about the world we live in, where food is delivered to your door, entertainment is just one click away, validation is one notification away, pleasure is one search away. We have built a world that teaches us to remove friction from almost everything. And while that may make life more convenient, it doesn't make us stronger. And growth has always lived on the other side of friction. That uncomfortable decision you have been delaying, the responsibility you have been running from, the temptation you choose to resist. These moments don't just test your character, but they shape it. Every time life asks you to do something difficult, you have two choices. One choice gives you a temporary distraction, the other gives you lasting confidence. And here's the crazy part. The more often you choose comfort, the less capable you feel. Not because life becomes harder, but because you stop trusting yourself to handle hard. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, truth over comfort, responsibility over escape, you're telling yourself a message. I am becoming a man I can rely on. And that's something porn can never give you. Because confidence isn't something you watch. It's something you have to earn. Which brings me to another point, which I believe is the biggest reason ambitious men stay stuck. They are living with an internal split, but another part of them keeps choosing the opposite in private. One part says, I want to build a meaningful life. The other survives in secrecy. One part dreams about leading a family. The other keeps practicing hiding from them. You see the problem? It's not just that these habits consume your time. They divide you from inside. And when your private habits no longer match your public ambitions, something dangerous happens. You stop trusting your own word. You make promises to yourself and then quietly break them over and over again until eventually you stop believing yourself. That's why this battle isn't just about lust. It's about becoming one person instead of living as two. Because a divided man can achieve success, but he will never experience peace. The goal isn't to become perfect. The goal is to become you as a whole. To live in such a way that the man people see and the man you are when nobody is watching are exactly the same person. That's where real confidence comes from. Not from pretending, but from alignment. And if one of your greatest ambitions is, let's say, building a beautiful marriage someday, then start preparing it for now. Stop training your mind for fantasy while praying for reality. Don't spend years teaching your brain to consume women and then expect yourself to naturally know how to love one. The habits you're building today are preparing you for the relationships you will have tomorrow. Start honoring women now, not because you are married, but because you're becoming the kind of husband you hope to be. The same is true for every dream. You become trustworthy in the quiet decisions nobody celebrates. You don't become a man of integrity when life gets easier. You become one every time you choose truth over comfort. That's why I've said throughout this video, the waiting season isn't a punishment, it's your preparation. Every lonely night, every setback, every unanswered prayer, every temptation you overcome, every difficult season. These are not the signs that life is against you. They are the very experiences shaping you into the man capable of handling the future you are praying for. And one day, you will have more responsibility, more influence, more opportunities, maybe even the business you have dreamed about, the children you have imagined. But those things won't transform you into a different man. They will reveal the man you have been becoming all along. So don't waste this waiting season trying to run away from it. Use it to your advantage, because your future isn't built the day you achieve success. It's built today in the quiet decision nobody else sees. And maybe that's what freedom really is. It's not reaching a place where temptation never exists, but becoming a man whose character is so deeply rooted and whose private life is so aligned with his public purpose that escape no longer looks attractive. If you're tired of fighting this battle with willpower or discipline, and you're ready to understand the real reasons behind it instead, I put together more resources on this channel that will help you make that shift. And if you want my personalized help to fast forward your progress, the link to my Instagram is in the description below. Send me the word clean in my DM and I'll send you the next steps. I genuinely hope this video served you in some way. If it did, make sure you subscribe and share this video with your friends or your loved ones who are feeling stuck. Until then, see you in the next one. Assalamu alaikum.